very good evening to you, esteemed viewer. Thank you so much for watching Church of Uganda Family TV. Here we are with our Family Hour. We are delighted that you are watching us, and we want to thank the Almighty God for the day it has been. Of course, it's been a long day from morning, but we are glad that we are almost at the edge of its end. And of course, we want to celebrate with those who are celebrating different victories, but we also want to condone with those who have gotten different challenges in lives, those who have lost loved ones, those who are sick in hospitals. We believe that God is at work in whichever situation, and He will meet you at your point of need. But otherwise, we are here with our Family Hour Wednesday edition. Adrian Austin Mukalazi is my name, and today we are talking about something very, very important. It's something that most of us don't really give attention to, yet it is very, very key. And of course, that is project planning. Now, what are the benefits of strategic project planning? Have you ever thought about project planning? Now here we are, and that is what we are going to have for the entire hour up to the time we wind up this show. Now with us is Mr. Bwire Jonan. It's a pleasure having you this evening.
Thank you, Edwin.
Good evening.
Good evening to you.
How was your day?
My day was good.
We thank God.
Yes, my day was good. God is faithful.
Amen.
And we are all alive.
Amen.
I would like to thank our viewers on Family TV, those seated in their rooms, just waiting for this program to come. You are doing a great thing to see that you're going to learn something great in your life. And this is a transformative program which transforms the life of all people who keep following us. Those on YouTube, those on all social media would like to welcome. Please enjoy the program. Is yours.
Indeed.
Yes.
Indeed. Thank you so much. And now we are looking at benefits of strategic project planning. But in the first instance, what is project planning? If we can start it from there.
Project planning. We start with a project.
Project. Okay.
Yeah.
Project.
Yes.
Then because you can't plan for it.
You can't plan for what is not there. We can start with a project. Our viewers to know what a project is. A project is an undertaking, a temporary undertaking of someone's effort to create value in himself. As simple as that. A temporary
Please
effort.
repeat that.
A temporary effort undertaken to create value. To create value, to create a product, to create a result. You get that? We do a project as an undertaking, but it is something temporary in nature. It cannot last for a very long period of time. It just comes and you prepare for that project for a very short period of time. That's why we say it is a short-term undertaking or a temporary undertaking which someone takes, and it has to create value for that undertaking, the product produced, the results, or anything you want from that project.
Well, because oftentimes we use the word project.
Yes.
I'm working on a particular project. There's a project I'm taking on.
Yes.
And I think sometimes we use it casually, even when we do not get into the deeper meaning of what a project is.
Yes.
That's what I realize.
Yes.
So,
people do various things, and they don't know that they're doing projects. Go to schools today, you find students saying, we are doing project. You get that? But they don't know what is the real meaning of project. If you check the new curriculum, teachers and everyone is saying we are doing project, but they don't know the sincere meaning of a project and how to do that project. But if they knew that a project is not something which is going to take a long period of time, in nature, you can't have a project for years, but you have a project for a timeline taking place and that project must be able to give you the results you want. Meaning, in projects, we have projects which gives production. You get that? The project which produces something for sale. Then we have project which gives services to be consumed or to be used by other people. Then we have project which creates value in someone's personality. So those are all called projects. So when we are doing this project, we are aiming at something which is going to create value for someone. And someone must see that I've been doing this project from this step to this, and I've gotten this. Meaning, even these people who are in the market, they have the projects they are doing. Even these people who are having shops, they have the projects they are doing. But this project must be given time to get to where you want it to be. Yes.
Because I think when we try to put it down, you realize that, for example, when they are maybe they're constructing a road.
Yes.
They call it a project.
Yes.
And they put a timeline on this project.
Yes.
The project will last for 24 months.
That is a very good example for government.
Yeah.
Like you are constructing the road in KCA, you give it a timeline that this is how we are beginning the construction of this road, and this is where it will end. Meaning, from the time of starting the construction of the road to the end, that time must be followed to get there. That's why you hear that the road failed to be finished within the scheduled time. They go ahead to ask for some time to complete that, because the estimated time was not enough to complete that road. So when we are doing a project and we are handling a project, we must put time as a factor in that project. That time, all projects are based on time. Yes.
Okay. Now, having understood, because now this takes us to project planning. So what is project planning now as a whole?
Project planning, it involves, like I may say, 4 things.
Okay.
When we're talking about project planning, we come first of all talk about the definition of the project. Because you cannot plan for the project which you have not defined. You cannot sit anywhere and you say, I'm planning for a project, and they ask you, which project are you planning for? And you cannot explain that I'm planning for a project of building a house.
It's in my head, I don't want to disclose it.
No. Meaning, every project you're planning must be defined.
Okay.
That is the very first step. You define the project you are going to do. And in the definition of the project you are going to do, you are going to outline what we call the goals and objectives. Remember that. I always tell you that in every business structure setting, you will never avoid what we call the goal and objectives. Objectives are the strategies which leads you to the goal. The goal is the outcome. What do you want to come out of this project? So we come to define the project. After defining that project, we come down and also outline what are our objectives. What do we want to get from this goal? You are constructing a road. What do you want to get from the construction of the road? You are building a house. What do you want to get from that house you're building? You setting up a farm. What do you want to get from this farm? That's what we call our goal. Because we are aiming at that one. That goal is what we are aiming at to get. But the objectives, we cut them down and we say, to get to this road, we need to engage the contractors, we need to get the machines, we need to have where we are going to get all the resources needed. So you having the objective to get to your goal. So when we are setting up, like we're having a project, define that project well. After defining it, set now the objectives and the goal for that project. Then there is what we call find out the resources. You get that? You know, resources, when you're talking about resources, most people think that resources is about money. No. But resources means, do you have the right equipments? Do you have the right personalities? Do you have the money? You get that? So we are talking about resources, but we are talking about people. We are talking about equipments. We are talking about money. Because all this leads you to a successful project. If you don't have people who can work for you better, then your project cannot be successful. You will employ people today, they will go on the road to work for you, but they will keep on shouting and making noise. So they will not do anything for you. Time will come when you want to hand over the project, but people have been sitting, and you realize that when you're coming to an end of the project, that's when the contractor will come, government will come in, people will come in to ask, what is this person doing? So they will bring all the blames to you. So you must get the right resource of people you are going to work with. If you get the right resource of people, then your project will be very successful. Get the right machine. Don't wait to borrow the machine. Don't wait to borrow the machine you're going to use on that project. But first find out, what is the right machine I'm going to use in this project? What is it going to help me? What if it breaks down? What will I employ again? What will come next? So machine is also important. Then you know the cost for all of this. I'm employing people. How much will they ask me? I'm employing the machine. How much will they cost? I want all these materials. How much will they cost? Then we have what we used to call WBS. Not a TV, but work breakdown. So you get how you can break this work down in small sections. We have the drivers. We have people who can dig. We have people who can sweep. We have people who can handle money. We have people who can handle procurement. We have people who can, you break down the work.
Supply food.
Oh yeah, supply everything. We break down the work. After breaking this work down, you find every section is fighting to fulfill their dream because they have all come to work. And when they have come to work, you have already divided the sections of different people. Meaning, you have already given them what to do, where to go, and how to do it. So it helps your project to be sustainable. And you get to finish that project within the time set. So all project must have when is the project beginning and when is the project coming to an end.
Who sets this timeline? Is it me, the one who's going to work on the project, or the person who owns the project?
The person who owns the project, not the person who is going to work on the project.
So what if in my capacity as someone who's going to work on this project, for example, you tell me I want this work done in 6 months.
Yes.
But I realize the 6 months are not enough.
You sit down and agree.
Okay.
You sit down and agree. That's why I said you get the right resource.
Okay.
When you get the right people, you sit down on a desk and you say, I want this work in 6 months. Will it be possible? If all the resources are there, money is there, people are there, workers are there, equipments are there, can I get this work in 6 months? And if you cannot get the work in 6 months, sit down with your engineers, design a well-planned time when this project can finish to be done. But we have the weak people, mostly people in Uganda. They want to do things at the last minute. They get the money. After getting the money, they first put the money in their other businesses. After putting the money in their business, when the contractor comes and I want my project to be done, I want to hand over, this is the time, that's when they begin now fighting around, doing everything as if they didn't plan. So if you planned effectively for your project, it will run well.
So why is project planning essential?
Project planning is very essential. Very essential. But I wanted us to first break down how this project can come to its success
Okay.
before we can show how our people that if you planning for a project,
Okay.
strategically it is very important to have a project planned before. So within the time schedule, as you prepare for a project, there is what we call now the project. You put in now the project to begin. You first put in now, because you have already scheduled for everything for the project. You've looked at its definition. You've defined what you want. You've put the time limit of what you want. You've put the right people to handle this project. You've employed all the equipments which are needed in this project. So you beginning this project. Do you know that beginning is also something which is hard for very many people?
Very hard.
Because even after putting up everything, that's why you move on the roads of Kampala and you find that they started doing something on the road. They cut somewhere and they forgot that they cut somewhere and they leave that place as cut as it is, and it becomes a pothole for banana plantation without repairing it. Because they do things excitingly, or they are excited to do something, but they are not ready to begin to do it. Because if you cut something, you need to come back and find out what did I cut? What are the effects of this? What will the people, how will it benefit the people, or how will it affect our people who are coming? If you move to Jinja Road, like when you leave Jinja Road, like when you are going to Jinja, there is some place which used to have a lot of accident when you're approaching to Mabira. As a result of weak people who are working in government. They cut the road. After cutting the road, they left big cars, trailers, after they pass on that road when it has rained. They will keep on going with soil. So when this road becomes, they create a very big pothole in this road. When this small car comes, automatically after banging this pothole, they will fall. They will cause an accident. So they will wait for this thing to last and create more accidents, and they realize that there's a problem. I'll give an example. Go to Namavi. When you're going to Mukono, there is a small thing they created in between there for Coca-Cola, just to protect Coca-Cola cars. But that thing has created accidents almost every day, because cars come from far from Kenya, very tired, Soroti, very tired. So they don't know what is happening. There's not even a post to show that there is something here. So they come, hit that in the trench almost every day, and people are watching. People are seeing that happening. So when we are strategically planning for a project, we need to do and have a beginning time to do that project. If you don't have the beginning time to do the project, you are messing up the whole project. Yes. So people should know how to do all this. Then we have also what we call you've defined the project, you've started the project, then we have the take off period. The take off period. So in the take off period, you have to employ what we call the monitor. You have to monitor and evaluate the work on a daily basis. Is what they are doing worthy and in the respect to the days we want this project to be done? So you monitor this project to see that everything they are doing is in relation to the time where you want this project to go. Then we have also what we call the closure period, when this project is closing. Because you had a beginning date, you also must have the closing date of the project. That's when the project is done. It has now reaped the results. There is an outcome which is being seen.
The projects you look at, for example, you had a company to construct your house.
Yes.
And then towards the closure time, you realize that people will be so busy trying to fix things so that they're not so that the deadline doesn't take them out. But is this as a result of poor planning, or it is how they plan, or it is how the things are supposed to be done?
Automatically poor planning.
Okay.
Because if you have the project running for 6 months, in the 5th month, you must be able to see that they are now on the finishing small things ready to be handed over. But if it reached you plan the project for 6 months, you're in the 5th month, and the project is just in the middle, then you have messed up everything. You've not followed your time well. You've not done what is right. The rest you are going to do at the end, you're going to mess up the project, because you're going to do what you want. That's how we find that we get buildings which are falling.
We have people who fall in these categories. Tailors.
Yes.
Carpenters.
Yes.
Welders. And plumbers, I think.
Yes.
These are people who promise that they'll work on a particular. Okay, you give them, maybe you want a cloth.
Yes.
And they tell you, give me just 2 days. And then when you go in the 2 days, they'll be just starting on the project. So why do people really want to excite the clients, especially when it gets to deadlines?
Do you know what makes them like that? One is weakness. Okay. Most people are weak. Like me personally, if I give you work to do, I will not pay you. Because if I pay you, you eat my money, and Edwin will come with his money to do the same work for him, and you begin now doing Edwin's work. When Edwin pays you, another person will come also with his money, and you leave Edwin's work and you begin on the other work. So this is how these people are doing. The carpenter, the tailor, and all those people. That's the things they are doing. So they keep on jumping to other works. So when you're doing, you handling such people, you don't need to pay them fully, but you just need to help them. You've done this, I want this in this time. After doing it, I'll pay you. If you've not done it, I'll pick my things, I'll take to another person. So they should learn the practice of how to do smart things.
Okay, we are taking a short commercial break. Especially when festive days are coming closer, people always create some jokes around these people, carpenters and especially tailors. And actually, people think that they never speak the truth. So when they tell you come after 2 days, then that is a week or 2. But anyway, I don't think this is how things should be. So we are taking a short commercial break. When we return, we want to see what are the benefits of planning. Because at the end of the day, a poor planning leads to doing shadow work. And I don't think this is a good representation, especially if the person who has hired you to do something doesn't appreciate the work. We are coming back shortly. welcome back from that commercial break. This is Family Hour. We are talking about project planning. Now, it's always good to plan well, because when you do not plan well, then you'll always have a lot of issues, especially with those people who have trusted you and probably want to use you or use your service, and then when you when you handle them in a way that is not really right, then there is a way people who do should work humble themselves.
Yes.
And they have a convincing tongue.
Yes.
To the extent that you're like, if I don't deal with this person, then I don't find anyone else.
Actually, they're like thieves. A thief in town here who wants to steal money from you and wants to sell you something which is not genuine, will come with a very good marketing language than someone who is seated in the shop. Will convince you how this phone. Recently, there are people selling iPhones. iPhone 16, the fake one of China. They will come and show you everything, and you get contacted that this person is giving me a phone. They will even tell you, I stole this phone, but there is no one who can catch you to get that. You get that? So people who do show the work, you find them with a lot of convincing language. They will tell you, Mzee, this one we are going to do it. It can be done. Don't worry. Come, bring the money.
Things.
Yes.
Now what about this
one? But they are stealing. They want to take money from you. After taking the money from you, they go and sit. And they are lazy. As lazy, they are lazy. Because the reason why they want money is to eat and fail to do the work. Genuinely, people who wants to do the work will always mind about his money. Will say, I'm working for this money to take my child to school. I'm working with this money to build my house. I'm working this money to buy this and this. So they will take their time. They will say, give us the money for material. Let's do this, let's do this, let's do this. At the end of the day, they will only take money for material after completing their work. That's when they will come to you and say, now pay us. Because they mind their sweat. But these people who does not mind their sweat, they want to eat. So after eating, they will get satisfied and even fail to work. So that's why planning is very, very, very vital.
So we talk about the essentiality of planning, especially when it gets to, because at the end of the day, whichever project you're taking on, like you define the project, it should be having at the end of the day, we should be having a result. Now, in order for us to have this result, how is planning essential?
We are talking about strategic.
Yes, strategic
planning, not just planning. Because you can plan something which is not worthy, but strategic planning, how is it essential? One, it aligns your work with your goal, with your objective. So if you strategically planned to do a project, you follow the objectives. After following your objectives, you follow to get your goal. You get that? So planning helps us to fight, to get where we want to be. I'm doing this, but I'm following what is in my plan to get there. Give an example today. You are setting up a shop, but you've not planned for that shop, how it will work, how it will start, how it will be serving the clients, and how you will benefit from that. You get that? Your goal is to get money from this shop. Your objective are to sell maybe 10 clients every day. But you have not planned that. How are you going to get the 10 clients every day? How are you going to get the people who come to your shop every day? Are you targeting the people who are passing by just to look at your shop and maybe they come and buy? Or those ones who see something new they have not seen and they come to buy? So when we are strategically planning for a project, we look at things. If I want to sell, what are the things which are bringing people to buy? What are things which are convincing these people that this shop is better than this? That's why you find in planning that most people, when they are beginning business, they will bring girls almost half naked to attract these people to come and do it and buy. Because that's their strategy. If I put this girl here on the counter and the person comes to buy with the wrangles at home, this girl will smile at this person and this person will be able to buy. So in business, there are very many things we have to. So planning helps us to align our goal with our objectives. So it guesses that every day you check the objective. I have this, I have this, I have this. Check these companies where they give targets. You have to make 100 sales in a month. You get that? If you don't make 100 sales within a month, there is a problem within you. So every person, every worker in that business will chase to get their sales. If you exceed 100 sales, there is this benefit you are getting. And they also chase to get the benefit after exceeding 100. But you find a lazy one who comes to business, they just come and go. I don't care. I don't care. I'm going to earn my master salary. So they don't care about improving themselves. They don't care about their goals. They don't care about anything, but they are just there in the business waiting for their monthly pay. Today, if you removed the monthly pay for all workers in Uganda, some people run mad. Remove all the pay and say, work for this. This is my company. This is what I want at the end of the month or at the end of the year. If you don't reach here, you're not going to earn. If you get this, you're going to earn. Most people run mad. Even those you see that they are effective in working. So planning helps us to align our goals. 2, it helps the management to keep learning. If you plan, your staff, they'll keep learning new things as they yearn to do more business. As you yearn to do more things, you keep on learning. There's learning. Today you meet the other person, he tells you this person tells you this person tells you this. As you sit in your board meeting to evaluate where your project is going and what you have done, you keep learning, because this one brings a suggestion, the other one also brings a suggestion. So at the end of the day, you put down all this and your staff keeps on learning. So there is continuous learning. When we strategically plan, there's continuous learning within the period of project. People learn, understand what to do. Those who came as amateur, they learn what to do, they begin to do effectively, and they do a good work. You get that? Give an example of taxi drivers. When they begin driving in those taxis, they make a lot of messes. They knock very many people on the road. But effectively, as they take time within that driving every day in Kampala, they come to understand that when I'm stopping, I must stop here. When I'm singing boda, I must end like this. I must do this. So they learn. It is a learning process. I will also talk about it brings what we call innovative product. Okay. Yes. You know, in every project we are looking at the product, which is very different from the other. You may begin the very thing we are doing, but what have you innovated? Today there are people who go in the office and they just get the books of the person they have replaced. The file he has handed over to him is the file he gets and begin to read. On Saturdays, we were doing meeting. On Fridays, we were doing this meeting. On Wednesday, we were doing this meeting. By the end of the month, there's an evaluation of this, there's this. But you who has come in this office, after reading this file, what have you put in to innovate, to bring new brain in that environment? You get that? So as we do the project, we are looking at the unique product we are going to sell outside there. Which unique product is going to attract people's eyes? Because they have seen everything. Adrian, everything you do here today, people have seen it. But what makes a difference is that innovativeness we put in a product we make. If our products are not innovative, you've not innovated, you've not put in new things in your product, then no one is going to buy from you. So we need to also know that when we strategically plan, we look at the unique futures. I'll give an example. People selling cake, or in the project of cakes. You've been given a project to make a cake for a wedding. Are you going to do the same cake which other people have seen? Or you are going to put in the future which are going to attract the people who are coming on that wedding to see and say, hey, the cake I've seen is the one I want also to be on my wedding. You get that? So you get market if you are innovative in doing some things. So we strategically plan for a project to get the innovative ideas, and we apply them in that project to see that the project is succeeding.
Okay.
Then I can also talk about the stakeholders. You know, every stakeholder of the business, these are the buyers, these are the owners, these are the sellers, and everyone who is involved in that business, it is called a stakeholder. So if we bring the stakeholder in the planning and we plan for this project and we communicate to these stakeholders, they will also get to know that this is where our project wants to be. So if the stakeholders get to know where the project wants to be or where we need the project to be, they also work hard towards the achievement of your goal. Give an example. Today you have a shop in town. You have a girl you brought from somewhere, some university. After graduation, she's selling for you things. And she doesn't know what you want to achieve in that business. Of course, she will sit there and wait for a client. But if you instruct and you lay down, you define your project, you start to tell her this is how the project is going to move, this is how we are closing this project, she will also work effectively to get to know where your project wants to be. But if you just sit and she will come every day and sit because you promised to pay 800,000, so she will sit and wait for the end of the month, 800,000. But I also want to question the worker or the people who work. Before you come to earn the 800,000 you promised in the appointment, ask yourself, what have I added in this company? What have you added in the company? What have you added in that project? If you've not added anything in the project, then why do you demand for a pay? Sit down and say, manager, I've not worked. You get that? We need the generation which is going to...
But is it something easy?
Yeah, it is something easy because it is not something easy because people are looking for money.
Yeah.
But there is also what we call value for money. Why do you want to earn which you did not work for? You came in the business, you sat in the business, you started watching TikTok, social media, you're on Facebook, you are on all forms of social media. At the end of the month, I check my source, it is not there. At the end of the month, I check the value you've added on the project, it is not there. So why do you demand for a pay? So when we teach these people and tell them that this is where we're coming from and this is where we are going, they'll get to realize that if they joke around the business, you cut them off and they'll go. Remember this, Adrian. Every business which is earning money, which is having a lot of money, even the workers enjoy. There's no business with sales, there's no project with money where the workers cannot enjoy. Even the workers enjoy. So we want to drive our people there who are watching us, that if they're seated there watching and they want to enjoy in this project they are doing, sit as stakeholders and understand that this is where we are going. We want money. If we want money, we have to work for this project to bring money. If the project has no money, you will also fail to get money because you not have a job in that project. So when people have this mindset, we can create an impact and a result which we want our project to yield.
Lastly, there is something very, very important.
Yes.
And this is risk management. How does a strategic planning, project planning, help project managers mitigate some of the risks ahead of them?
Yeah, I was coming to that point. Like in any project, you have to look at the risk management. But the risk management helps you to analyze your income and also analyze your expenses. Because in everything we do, there is a risk attached. But how do we curb the risk from affecting the project? Is analyzing that these are areas which can affect this project. Sit down. Like you give an example. You maybe want to build a building in an area which is affected by water. You get that? Rain becomes a risk to that. So you need to do that to find out, first wait for the rain to rain and see this area if it looks around the water. You get that?
I'm entirely encroaching on my deadline time.
You are encroaching on your deadline time, but you have to, that's now planning. That's where planning helps us. That within this period of time, we are going to see this. We are also going to outline this. We are also going to outline this. So when you outline all those things in the planning, it helps you to curb the risk. So risk, you look at all the expenses. Let me help the people who are in the shops, who are out there doing small businesses, who are there doing some small projects. Look at the cost of your project and look at how much this project is going to bring in. Don't do things when you are excited just to please people who are seeing you, but look at what it takes and what are the expenses which are involved in this. So when you check all this, you curb the risk. When you discuss with your stakeholders, you also analyze and understand that this could be the area for risk. And people will give you ideas. That's why I say that in the project, it is a continuous learning of the staff. People keep learning, new things coming, and the project director also understands, hey, I didn't know this. But in the discussion we've done, I've known this. In the meeting we've done, I've known this. Oh, let me curb this to help me overtake this risk. So as you discuss, as you learn, as you involve the stakeholders, as you involve different people, you help yourself to overcome the risks which may come in that project.
Okay.
Yes.
But then still, for example, we are constructing this house in a place that is affected by water.
Yes.
But now we expect maybe the rain in the month of March and April, and it doesn't rain. It doesn't fall. Should I still extend the waiting time, or I devise other ways?
I still come back to planning. I'll give an example. When they were constructing the Northern Bypass or Express Highway, they estimated time limit for that road to be constructed. But remember, when these people are estimating the time, there's what we call swamps, areas with swamps, there's areas with hills, there's flat area. So they have to estimate that a swamp area, to see that this swamp can be covered well and fail to affect the road, we need to wait for the rain to be there. Good rain. So that is within planning. The good rain must come, and we see the weight of this swamp.
So what happens if the rain doesn't come?
It cannot fail when you are planning.
There are times where the dry spell is prolonged.
It cannot fail when you are planning.
Okay.
When you are planning. So when you are planning, you say, we will not begin with the swamp. Swamps will be the last. But let's first handle the hills. That's why you find when they are constructing a road, they will go and handle the hill areas. Then they come to the swamp areas, because swamps, you cannot handle a swamp before seeing the weight of that swamp. So within the planning stage, when you're planning for a project, you have to outline the time when this area must be affected to that. So when you plan well, you avoid that risk. When you don't plan well, that risk will come to you.
Okay.
Yes.
Now, as we wind up, kindly give us your closing remarks and maybe emphasize more on the importance of planning before you take on a particular project.
Yeah. My closing remarks, Edwin, is today, whatever we are doing now, there are two things. On earth, you need money and God. In heaven, you need God only. So meaning, on earth you must work to earn money, which can satisfy you. So if you don't have money today, look for ways on how you can practice to get that money. Do the project well to help you earn what you want. We talk all this to make families better. Today, when you check the problems which are taking place in families, the number one problem is money. So when these people get the money, you see that most problems are sorted in life. So we need to work very hard. We need to plan well on all our projects we are doing. Plan well the project you're going to do. It will help you to make the profit you want to make. It is going to help you to do the business you want to do. So if you don't plan well the project, if you don't plan well the business, you are going to fail in life. I'm ending by telling our young people, we are in the period of politics. Shouting and making a lot of noise is not going to change your life. But you can impact and change your life by yourself. Look at your background, look at where you are and where you're working from. See how you can change that place for the better of your life. Leave an impact and an icon everywhere you work. It will help you other than shouting politics. Those who are sleeping, President Museveni gave us the freedom to sleep. You can even sleep when your legs are up. But remember one thing, without money, there is a problem. Thank you for watching us.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Please don't sleep with legs up. Well, it's been a pleasure having you watching, and I think this was a very good ending point. Edwin Mukalas is my name. I've worked with Jonah, Jal, and Didmas, and for the entire team, we wish you a blessed night.